Hey y'all, how you doing today? As the end of the beta approaches, some of you might be asking yourselves if you've actually locked in your rerolling strategy. I don't know if a lot of you reroll on games like this, but I pretty much have a preset strategy for every single game that works every single time. So, whether or not it's difficult to reroll in the game, whether or not they have just a button that's reset account in the game, is going to be moot in this scenario because the developers already officially released a statement that they don't want rerolling to be too easy. Well, unfortunately for them, I am a rerolling master. So let's go through a step at a time how we're going to make this easy on ourselves. Step one is going to be having a cell phone and an Android because I don't know how anything works on iPhone, so if you're on an iPhone, this tutorial is not for you. Basically, on Google, you can link your phone number, your single phone number 10 times to 10 different Google accounts, which gives us 10 chances to reroll. If we don't want to stop there, by moving on to mailbox.org, we can also use our phone number to link 10 mailbox.org accounts so that we have 20 total chances to reroll because you have to bind an email before you can log into a separate account. If 20 wasn't enough for you, you could type in burner app and then open the Play Store, and there's these apps that count as burner phones. They basically turn your phone into a virtual machine. It spoofs your phone number and fakes your location. It gets a little bit more complicated than that. If we want to go deeper into that rabbit hole, we can, but I'm honestly sure that 20 accounts is going to be plenty for us to get what we need to get. Plus, if you actually played the beta, they're going to give you a code that you can use to redeem your purchases from the beta on any account. So after you get your reroll, your desired result, then you can go ahead and claim your gem. So how are we going to reroll? Let's just go ahead and start one from scratch here. So how we're going to reroll gets a little bit complicated for me to show you from this point. So I think I'm going to have to go to Google Images. All right, y'all, I didn't think ahead. I should have started this on my computer, but for now, I'll just explain it to you on our phone. We're going to download a mobile emulator like Nox or BlueStacks. Nox has a lot more reports of being successful than BlueStacks does, but at the same time, BlueStacks has multiple builds that you can use. But basically, we're going to have to take advantage of the emulator so that we could spoof new phones. And for the most part, you'll need to use this strategy on a computer, but if you were feeling a little bit lazy, you could essentially just uninstall and reinstall the game, clearing cache on your phone over and over. But the way that we're going to do it is going to net us a lot more chances to succeed. So after you download Nox, something like this comes up, or BlueStacks. I'm just going to refer to Nox in this video, but it pretty much just displays an Android phone on your computer, complete set with the Play Store, all of that. So once you have Nox installed, you're going to want to check for the Nox MultiInstance Manager. The MultiInstance Manager is going to look something like this, and whenever you get to this screen, it's showing you basically preset builds for your Nox player that has certain different mobile builds. Set it to a low CPU usage, set it to a low RAM usage, because we're going to be making multiple instances, thus taking advantage of the MultiInstance Manager. Create an instance that'll run the game on the bare minimum, and then after you've created that instance, feel free to duplicate that instance as many times as you could fit on your computer screen. If you have a very good computer with 2 computer screens, you could essentially run 8 accounts at one time. Or if you just want to keep it slow and manageable, you could just do 2 or 3. So then after you have every instance running, I'm just going to go ahead and continue from my phone from this point forward, but I'll explain to you how you could use that MultiInstance Manager. Okay, pretending that we are using Nox, just go ahead and open the Play Store on every instance you have. You should have the windows separated on different portions of your screen so that you could easily access them just by left clicking. On the Play Store on every instance, go ahead and type in Awaken Chaos Era. And from here, go to the combat, yeah, of course, go to the closed beta test, and then install it. You're going to have to install it on every instance because every instance is treated as an entirely different phone. Then once the game is installed, it goes through all the motions as if you just started the game. You're going to have to go through the whole tutorial. I'll give you a short summary of how everything played out. Go ahead and click start. The game starts, you have to go through the cutscenes, try and keep every single screen in unison. So if one screen is getting a little bit too farther ahead in the story, just leave that one alone for a little bit and work on the other ones. Or if you want it to be really professional and complicated about it, you could go ahead and use macros. You could use macros to automate the process and do it for you. But essentially, after you get the game installed, you're going to have to go through the entire first chapter, essentially. They're going to want you to go through some dialogue, go through some cutscenes, beat stage 1. After that, dialogue, tutorial stuff, stage 2, dialogue, tutorial stuff, stage 3, dialogue, tutorial stuff, stage 4, all the way up to stage 5, all the way up to stage 6. Now you might be asking why it forces us to go to stage 6 whenever summoning is unlocked on stage 1-4. Whenever summoning is unlocked, you will always get Cain from that summon. You're not going to get anything else, so that's not technically the end of the reroll. It takes about 30 minutes to get to the point from start to finish of the first initial point of installing the game to actually getting your reroll summons down. You have to go through all the dialogue, cutscenes, and tutorials up to stage 6, and then after you beat stage 6, that's where we are finally at this screen. Anytime before that, we're not able to actually summon, and we're not able to go into our settings. So after beating stage 6 on every instance, you're going to be on the screen. At that point, claim every single gift code possible, every gift code on every account to accumulate as many diamonds as you can possibly get, because we want this to be efficient. If it takes 30 minutes for us to get all the way to the point where we could even summon, perhaps an extra 15 minutes of gameplay could net us enough gems for ×10 summon. Collect all rewards from the inbox. If you have gems, I'm sure they will release the game with a bunch of gems in our inbox saying thanks for playing the beta, thanks for that. That'll be on every account, and then of course whatever other gems you accumulate just from your index, you can pull some gems from. Where is it? Index. For every character you summon, you get more gems so that you could get more diamonds and do more summons. Once you have all of your gems on all of your accounts ready, go ahead and click on summon, and this is where it gets interesting. For every single ×10 summon you do, you also get another ×10 summon for every instance you're running. So pretending that we're running 4 instances right now, where I do this ×10, there are 3 other accounts also doing this ×10 at the same time. So it's pretty much a ×40 summon. We should honestly, in the beginning of the game, have enough. Wow, that is probably the worst I've ever seen in my life. Holy, let's try that again. But see how I'm buying 10 more right here? If I do another ×10 summon, if I did that on all the other accounts, I've gone through 80 summons, versus how you've just seen 20. There's going to be 3 other multi-instances that have summon results as well. Still no legendary, but 3 epics or whatever. So then again, don't forget to exhaust all of your resources for collecting gems. Go through the index, go through the shop, buy all of the, buy all of these that you can, exhaust every single summon you can. Honestly, you should be able to get through, if you're running 4 instances of the game with low graphics, low CPU usage and everything, you should be able to get at least 120 summons across all of the accounts. So 30 minutes for 120 summons is a very good deal. At any point during these summons, if you find an account that you like, let's just go through that scenario. Let's pretend we just did our summon and this is our golden account. This is the one we want. From the point where it makes you select your name, you probably would have just chosen a random name. Change your name from that point to whatever you want your main account to be called. Go into the settings, go under account, and then bind your account to Facebook or Google Play from that point. Then you can claim your codes and continue to play the game as normal. Now, if we weren't satisfied, we would close the game on all instances in the multi-instance manager, use this little recycling bin icon on the far right to delete every instance, and then create new instances. But essentially, it's only 30 minutes for 120 summons. That's 1,000 chances to get a desired result in 5 hours, and I would say it's going to be worth it to reroll all the way up until the first week of the game. Because if you think about it realistically, 2 accounts starting at the same time, pretend that the first account just went with whatever they wanted or whatever they got, they didn't really care, and they're progressing. Now, they didn't have anything really extraordinary, they don't have anything that's going to carry them farther than anyone else, but they're starting pretty much at the beginning of the game. Now, they'll be okay for a little while, but if someone starts 5 hours later than them that was lucky enough with rerolls to get like multiple legendaries that are going to carry them through certain parts of the game, while that first account might be farther for the first week, that second account is just going to have so much more momentum that they are going to fly through all of the content way faster. So it's really up to you. I'm sorry that I'm not really able to do this with you in real time on my computer. I don't really know why my audio isn't working, but if you have any questions, you can always join my Discord. We have a bunch of people in there that play all sorts of different games, but don't be sensitive in there because we like to have fun. But other than that, that'll do it for me today, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.